All right, this is part two of our conversation with Sharon Wofford. Absolutely. If you didn't hear the last episode, then you need to just turn this one off, go one episode prior to where Sharon, which is so cool. We've become great friends. She joined me here at the network at Success Mortgage Partners about 90 days ago. And just seeing great results. Closed 12 loans last month, has been a veteran in this business, and her business is just exploding this month. We're the 10th day into the month, and she already has 41 leads. Last episode we talked about where she's hosting an event and just hosted an event at a broker's office with a bunch of agents and walked out within the same week with 14 leads directly from that event. So go back, listen to that episode. I want you to get caught up and hear what she's doing, because I think it'll be a game changer if you'll implement it in your market, and really a great way to go in and build deeper relationships in what we would call one to many. So Sharon, here's what I want to do. I just want to pick up the conversation because I know you've got a couple things you want to share, but I want to get into what you've been doing over the last 90 days to see this jump in leads to 41 leads in the first 10 days, which we know mathematically you've already put essentially 10 loans in your pipeline when you're closing 1 out of 4 leads that are coming to you. And we're only the 10th day in. So that's really one of the things I want you to go deeper on, is what are some of the activities that you've been doing? And I know you wanted to share something before we get into that. So what was that?
We were just talking about having these meetings and having these, power calls or, call star calls with the agents. And maybe there's someone out there that thinks, well, I can't do that because I'm not good enough at this, or I don't have the answers to that. But, even from the very beginning, what I've always said is, I've always felt like it's okay not to have the answers. And
Yep.
it's okay to say, let me check on that and I'll get back to you after this call. Or let me check. I used to actually have a box of all the guidelines in the back of my car, and I would go in and make face-to-face calls, and they'd ask me something. I'd say, hold on, I'll be right back. And I go out to my car and I get there and I'd find
Yeah.
the guidelines and I go back in. I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
So, but just know that it's okay not to have the answers. And it's okay to say, I'll have to get back with you on that. Let me make sure. I mean, you can even say, look, the guidelines change all the time. Let me just make sure that I'm giving you accurate, up-to-date information, and I'll get
Yeah.
back to you on that. So it's okay not to have the answers.
Well, and I love that because it goes back to the fear of perfection. What happens if they ask me something I don't know? All you need to say is, "Hey, that's a great question. Give me till 2 p.m. this afternoon, and I'll get back with you with an answer." And so it's okay. You know what's more important? Take action, because what you'll realize is the power's in the activity, not in knowing it all. My gosh, we've been in the business 20 plus years and we don't know it all. Like the other day, somebody's asked me something. I'm like, "That's a great question. We'll get back with you."
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
hey, okay, so let's do this. Let's talk. And by the way, I also want to say this. If you didn't listen to last week's or the previous episode, what I want everybody to know too, she's in Ball Ground, Georgia. She's not in Houston. She's not in Dallas. She's not in Atlanta. Like, she's doing this remarkable work. And what some people would say, that you told me the other day, it's like a one light town where your office is at.
There,
Um,
there are. Oh yeah, there is a light. Yeah, there's one light.
one light. And so I just want to encourage people, who say, yeah, but I'm in a small town. Yeah, but nobody's buying. Yeah, but you're proving the butts wrong. And so now let's talk about, what have you been doing, and what could you say is the top 2 or 3 things that have helped your lead count literally soar and continue to see the growth you're seeing?
Well, since I did change companies, I had to start from zero.
Yeah.
So when I came here, it was literally almost exactly 90 days ago. So I had to start at zero, and I thought, well, I got to have income. So I got to keep this ball rolling, and we got to get these things closed out. So, it was like, how can I get loans? What's the quickest way I can get business?
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, it's always been checking in and following up on the pre-approved lookings. So if I follow up on the pre-approved loans, or the loans that are my prospects, then I'm also going to call the agent. So
Yeah.
if I call the, if I follow up, then they may be, I'm doing the future casting. I'm getting them re-excited about what they're doing. But I went straight to that, started calling them, and then would immediately call the agent and say, hey, I just talked to John Smith, and he sounds like he's pretty excited about this, and let's work together and get him excited so we can, I'm sure you need a closing this month. So let's see what we can do to make that happen. So they all knew that I was trying to help them get more closings too. So,
Mm,
I spent a lot of time calling them, calling that, and then I was calling new realtors just to let them know what was going on. But I was also asking for the business, probably more than I ever have in the past.
mm,
So, you talk about 41 leads and it's the 10th, and actually 42 because I just got another one. But you know, my goal is to get 4 leads a day. And if I get 4 leads a day and convert them at a certain percentage, then I'm going to have enough loans. So I'm not thinking, oh, I have to have X amount of dollars worth of loans to get this much volume, or I have to have this much dollar volume to make this much money. I'm not thinking about the end product. All I'm thinking about is what I do right now will create more loans. So if I
mm.
just keep my feet churning, trying to get leads and get loans and then turn them over, that's all I got to do. I just got to
Yeah,
get more. So
yeah.
I became very intentional about asking for the business. Like I said, more so than I have in the past. And I spent more time calling my database and, just talking to them and just, how are you doing? And checking in on you. And, hey, I was thinking about you. And, and that has led to a lot of leads, or a lot of, what, I kind of need to refinance. We're kind of over our heads right now.
Yeah.
um, just stuff like that. And it's very intentional about asking for the business. That's the key.
Hey, and so there's a couple of things that you've said. So, what, because like even on your past clients, you were talking earlier that you literally got 11 leads from your past clients last week.
Mhm.
And so I just wrote down four really quick things that I heard you, because I know your story. We've become great friends. But number one, let's just be clear, you made a move to get things off your plate, to stop being an assistant to the back end operations. And so you, number one, started getting things off your plate, which meant you weren't doing low level, and it's not low level, but low paying activity, so you could focus on prospecting. Number two, what I love you just said is you were super clear about what your everyday goal was, which is 4 leads. There is so much power in that, Sharon, because I think we're like, hey, I need to get 100 leads in a month or 50 leads in a month. And you just said, no, I need 4 a day, 4 a day. Hey, and by the way, how did you come up with 4 a day? What does that do for you?
Um, 4 a day, I've got this written at my office. It's like 4 a day equal, and I was just doing Monday through Friday, but 4 a day is 100 loans. It
100 leads.
creates, yeah,
Yeah.
100 leads, convert at 71%, leads to X amount of loans, all units, just
Yeah.
units is what I'm thinking
Yeah.
about. And then I think it was converts to like almost 20 units or 24 units. And then if I have a 25% fallout, which is a lot more than what we have fallout,
Right.
then I can close 21 loans a month, and then that's my goal. So
I
because
love it.
I want to get, I want to get over 200 loans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we got big goals. We're going to be in that top 10, so for sure. Hey, and so number one, get things off your plate. Number two, super clear about what your daily results are. Number three, you started asking for the business. Hey, and being real intentional. Isn't it interesting? We can make a lot of calls and we're like, oh yeah, I made a lot of calls. And it's like, oh, I forgot to ask for the business. So, hey, go deeper on that. Like when you talk about asking for the business, so every call you're making, you're thinking about what's the desired result, or like talk more about somebody who hasn't been real intentional with asking for the business. What can they do today to start doing that?
well, I also started talking about, especially when I was talking to the agents, who have you got right now that I can work with to help you get another loan by the end of the year?
Hey, hold that. So look, what I love you did is what's in it for them. It's like, hey, so I can help you get another loan for you. I love that. What's in it for them? That's it.
Which is for me.
Yeah, well, we get yes results from it, but I think people forget the what's in it for them part of it. But I
Mhm.
love how you did it. So just really having the conversation with
Well,
agents.
like I said, I needed to make money. I know they need to make money. They want to make
Yeah,
more by the end of the year, just like people want to refinance or whatnot before the end of the year because they need more money. The
right.
agents need more money too,
Yeah,
And I just, maybe I was desperate at the time or something, but I needed to have a pipeline.
Yeah.
So I had
So
to
you had a
rebuild.
big why. The why is it doesn't matter how I feel or what's going on. I'm going to ask every time.
Right. So it's just a matter of, building that momentum. And, I just had to get the ball rolling again.
Yeah.
So, it's just getting out there. Now, we're also very involved in everything locally.
Yep.
And, we're also talking about, going maybe 70 miles north of where we are. So that's our whole local area. There's a whole corridor. And,
Hmm.
we're involved in the boards, we're involved in committees. We spend time with the agents in the committees. We have lunch with them. We go to the socials. We see them around. So we want to we don't just want to see them or hear them when we're making the call. We want to
Yep.
be a part of everything. So the more they see us out there, the more they're going to think about us.
Hmm.
So, and you don't have to, every time you see someone somewhere, you don't have to go accost them with asking for the business. That's your relationship building time. And when you
Hmm.
call them, you can ask for the business.
Yeah. Well,
But
you're
if you've
just
got a
teaching them
relationship,
that.
they're going to think about you.
Yeah, and you're teaching them you're a professional. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. I'd also love to hear from you. Make sure to drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or what it is you want to see next. And we'll see you on the inside. So the last episode we just did, you were talking about teaching them when I call you, I'm going to ask for the business because that's what we do. And I just think, it's the tendency is to shy away from the ask because it's too, the biggest thing, I'm pushy, it's too salesy. And the reality is, no, you're just being a sales professional and you're showing them what you do every time you talk to their clients. And they intuitively know, oh man, it may bother me. She asked for the business again, but what she's really telling me is I need to be asking for the business, and it's like,
Exactly.
and it's not a bother when you really realize that the professionals are inspired because I love it what you said in the last episode too. You're showing your whole stance is let me show you what we're doing. It's not let me tell you what to do. That's the difference between a tour guide and a travel agent. Travel agents will tell you a great spot. The tour guides will show you the great spots.
Mhm.
And I just keep hearing you are such a good tour guide and you're
Mhm.
taking what most people would see as ordinary and saying, let me show you some of the tools of what we're doing. And it inspires agents who want to have business to take action and want to work with you. It sets you apart. You're different.
Something you just said too about, we're taking the ordinary. We
Yeah.
were actually talking about that yesterday. We were talking about making a list of the things that we think are ordinary. It
Mm,
may be just, door opening or mind blowing to someone who doesn't know because we do it all the time. So these things are all normal to us. But there may be a program or an opportunity or something that we can do that we think we should do anyway, but nobody
hmm.
else is doing it,
Yep.
like teaching them how to ask for business. And that's what we talked about at that meeting. Their broker said, I want you to start asking for the business more often, be intentional about asking for that. So, I said, that's what we're doing too. I can show you how to do that. And I can show you what we're doing so that you can learn from us. So if they,
Mm.
if we use our scripts to teach them how to ask for business, then we're going to get more business.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, and the fourth thing you said was database. That's been a big, big piece. How did you reactivate your database? What is there, like, talk to me about that.
Well, we've been working on it for a year or so.
Yeah.
And what I did is I basically just called all my favorites and just said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Because I made the calls easy, and I just made it, people that I knew that would refer
Yeah.
people to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just had a current client just send me an email right before this and said, "Is it okay if I share your cell number with some friends of mine that are looking to buy a house?" Yes, it
Absolutely.
is. It
Yes, it is.
is. So, but if we don't ask for the business, even to our current clients and our past clients, then they don't know that they should refer to us.
Mm,
And it's just the more that we ask them or tell them to refer to us,
yeah,
then when someone does say something about a mortgage, it's just going to activate their brain and they're going to say, you know what, you should call Sharon.
that's right.
So,
That's right. Yeah, I love that. Hey, and tell me about your routine to prospect every week. For somebody who's listening, you're saying, "Wow, that's a lot of leads," and "Wow, you're doing so good." but it's because you really have dialed in the prospecting and gotten rid of doing a lot of the busy work. The reality is it's easy to get pulled into the busy work and not the things that move the needle. So talk to me about, like, what are some of the core things you do every week? You're doing call stars. Like, give me an idea of how many hours a week you're prospecting with
So,
outbound
I
calls.
mean, I've got some things going on. I can't always jump on call starts, but I am committed to making two hours a day worth of calls.
Outbound
So,
calls. So
yeah,
2 hours a day of outbound, not inbound. You didn't answer the phone. You're just proactively making calls.
proactively, I've got a big list. I put it on my screen. I just go down the list, and
Yeah.
I make calls, and I do try to keep the calls kind of short, but I'm also taking time to create relationships.
Yeah.
So I don't really think of, we talk about making calls to get meetings. I consider every call I make as a meeting. If I'm talking to them, it's a meeting. So I can take that time to talk to them about something that they need or something that we talked about the last time, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, yeah, I remember you mentioned that last week, or you pay attention to what they're doing too, and you edify them. Every
Mm.
time I get list reports, you know, agent intel, and it says that so and so is in the top 10% of this county, and I know that's not even their main county, I give them a call and say, "Man, this is awesome. Did you know
Great
this?
job.
I get, and I just
Yeah.
tell them, and then they're just like butter, you know.
Wow. Honor,
So
hey, honor does a lot to softening the hearts. People that are winning at a high level oftentimes are not, we don't get golden stars. Nobody's saying attaboys and attagirls, and just that small recognition
right.
opens up a lot of opportunity.
Really, because all they get, is they have their, $1 million awards or multi-million, they get their plaque at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that some of the offices are doing some things, but outside to say that you notice what they're doing, or maybe you notice
Mm.
that they're doing certain things on Instagram or
Yeah.
Facebook, and that they're trying something new. They're stepping out of their comfort zone to try something new, maybe to do 100 days of videos.
Right.
Well, pick up the phone and call them and say, "Hey, I've noticed what you're doing, and you're really getting a lot better. Like, I'm so impressed. Maybe
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
teach me how to do this because I'm
Yeah.
afraid to do this."
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Hey, how many outbound calls a week do you think you're making? How many talk tos? I mean, just ballpark it. Like and I know you have all your spreadsheets, but like if you were to guess how many outbound calls you're making a week, what would you say?
100 maybe.
Yeah, 100 plus. I would say that. But it just goes back to, you got to get out of the busy work. You got to get out of the things that don't move the needle, and then being intentional with your time and making the proactive outbound calls. So get things off your plate, be super clear on what your daily goal is from the activity you're doing. Ask for the business every time and get your database activated. Would you say those are some good keys?
I think they are. For me, if I have a goal and a number to hit, then
Yeah.
I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
You know. So and four is not. I mean, it's a good number of leads, but it's not just unfathomable.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't reach that. So how many calls do I need to get 4 leads? Well, if I get 4 leads by 2 o'clock, I'm not going to quit. So I'll just get more, because there'll be days that you only get two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, well, Sharon, give our listeners some closing thoughts. You're such an inspiration and such a great leader here in the network, and then also in our community with the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. You inspire so many people to take action, and to I just see your care, your compassion. You're always willing to share what it is you're doing. And so, as we close out the podcast, give us some final thoughts.
I think, once you learn to just ask and then teach others to ask too, I think
Mm,
you'll find that you're going to get a lot more business. But know that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the best at this. You just have to get out there and be seen. And you'd be surprised how far that's going to take you. So just get
mm.
out there and ask for it.
I love it. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
All right. Thank you.
Such a great episode with Sharon. Hey, and listen, when I think about getting things off your plate, one of the greatest gifts in where I believe you can see accelerated growth in your business this year is you got to get things off your plate. And if you want me to show you what we're doing here at the network that has helped Sharon be able to focus on what matters most, which is prospecting and relationships, hey, book a call with me. Resultswithsteve.com, resultswithsteve.com. Schedule a 15-minute call. We'll talk through maybe what are some of the things that you could do to get off your plate so you could focus on the prospecting and reach your goals this year. It's a lot easier than you think. I'd love to show you what I'm doing inside of the network here at Success Mortgage Partners, and it is resultswithsteve.com. And you could book a 15-minute call with me and would love to show you. So, hey, thank you for being a part of the community. Wherever you're watching this, like, share, subscribe. And if it's helping you, would you give us just some feedback, maybe where you can rate or review the podcast if it's on YouTube or whether it's on where you're listening to it audibly? Rate us. Tell us how it's impacting you in a positive way. Don't keep us a secret. Share it with someone you know today needs to be inspired to make this your best year ever. Grateful and honored to be on this journey with you. Again, resultswithsteve.com if you want to jump on a 15-minute call, and I'll show you what we've done over the last 90 days to lift things off of Sharon's plate. We can help you as well. And we will see you on the next episode. See you.